Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
No Lori again.
She's still living it up down in FLA.
Yep, living it up in the sunny Florida.
Yep.
So I got my act together a little bit today. So I have some would you rathers.
Oh, good.
Would you rather eat food that's never been cooked or only eat cooked foods? So either raw foods or cooked foods.
I'm going to have to go with cooked foods. I like raw vegetables, fruit. I like sushi, but that's about as far as I go.
I'm going to go with cooked foods also.
Yeah, sometimes I want a steak.
Yeah, you don't want to eat that raw.
No.
Okay. Would you rather always have to wear heavy boots or have to never be able to wear shoes?
I will never wear shoes.
I need heavy boots.
In your line of work, I agree. But I can't, my feet are so bad in the winter when I have to wear boots. Like, I don't want to go into detail because I don't want to gross anybody out. I don't want anybody to picture what I would have to say to describe my feet.
Okay, I get it. And
Yeah.
I have such bad feet that I always have to wear orthotics in my shoes because I can't go barefoot. So I can put them in heavy boots.
Okay. No, I'd rather go barefoot.
Yeah, I wish I would love
ass
to.
calluses on the bottom, but I would go barefoot.
All right. Here's a good one. Would you rather never have a life without air conditioning or never be able to use deodorant? So no air conditioning or never. I need air conditioning. So I'll give up.
You're going no deodorant?
Yeah, I need air. I need to be climate controlled.
I know you do like your climate control.
And if I'm climate controlled, I'm not sweating. Am I sweating? No, I'm not.
Yeah, I can't give up deodorant. I can't do it.
You can't. Okay.
Yeah, I need it.
Okay. All right. We're pretty much, except for the food, we're opposites today.
I know.
All right. Here's one. I think we're going to agree on this one. Would you rather have to shave your head or have your nose pierced?
That is a good one because I don't think I would mind either if either were necessary. But I'm going to pierce my nose because I do like having hair on my head. So I'll pierce my nose.
I'm going to do the same. Pierce my nose because I feel like this is like my crown and glory. Like I don't want to shave it off unless I have to. Well, then I have to. But
exactly in the event it was necessary, of course.
Right.
But.
Okay. Would you rather go 1 month with only a tank top or go 1 month with only a thong on?
My thong days are over. OVER. I'm going tank top. Did I ever tell you this story?
You're going to be cold.
Can I wear a bra?
Well, yeah, you can wear a bra, but you can't wear a sweater over it.
Right. That's all right. I'm naturally very warm, so I'll be okay. Did I ever tell you the time that, Maria and I used to walk all the time when my kids were little? And she came knocking on the door one day and I wasn't ready yet. So I was standing on the front porch with her talking while we were getting ready. And Tess was so little, she came to the door and she was holding a thong. She got one out of my drawer. Maria was like, oh, I'm like, I probably have not worn that since I was 21. It was clean in my drawer.
Oh my God. That's hysterical.
So funny.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have never wore a thong, but I do not like my arms, so I'm not wearing a tank top. So I'll suffer through the thong. I will.
And you will suffer.
I know I will.
Suffer is the operative word.
It's a month of wedgie. I mean, because It's only a month. It's only a month. I just can't do a tank top. I just can't do it. I don't know. Just my thing.
I'll take my cotton briefs. Thank you. My oversized ones for my birthday.
Oh, yes. The big giant granny panties.
Yep.
Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about Summer House. So we haven't recapped this, but you and I have both been watching it.
Yeah.
So we're just going to start with
things.
Yeah. The latest episode was season 8, episode 8. And everyone is at the house for Paige's Italian dinner.
Yeah.
Now, now this is after Kyle met up with his flower boys and his groomsmen to get their fitting. And Andrea was there because he's also a flower boy. So
Love to see Andrea.
I do too. I wish he would come back. I really like him.
Do you think it was his choice not to come back? I mean, I know, like, they've seemed to recast every year a couple of people, switch them in and out. But do you think, because I personally think he was very good on the show, and especially the fact that we met him in Winter House, he hit it off with Paige, they seemed to have a thing, and then even though she started dating Craig, they still have such a good banter, those two.
Wait, did we meet him at Winter House, or we met him in Summer House and then he went to Winter House and then he went back to Summer House?
I am almost positive, and we'll fact check it.
Okay.
They met in the Winter House.
Winter House. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. No, I love their relationship.
Yeah.
I know he is a girlfriend that he's very serious with too.
That's why I'm wondering if maybe it was his choice not to come back.
Maybe, or maybe it was his girlfriend's choice. Who knows?
Right.
Right? Who knows?
Yeah.
So then the very awkward conversation at the table where everyone's sitting there, how Amanda wants to go look for a house in the suburbs and Kyle just isn't ready yet to kind of settle down in the suburbs, and he's equating that to having children. And Amanda's like, well, I'm not really saying we're having children right now, but I need to not be in the city all the time. I have my 2 dogs. I want a yard. I want someplace else.
I personally don't ever see Kyle leaving the city.
Well, I mean, after these last few episodes, I don't know either, to be honest with you.
I really don't.
And I feel bad because I feel like, you know, like Amanda said, they always discuss this. Like their plan was they were going to have children and move to the suburbs.
He seems like the kind of guy that just thinks he's always going to get his way because he always has gotten his way.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably figured like, yeah, like pacifier, and then she'll let it go. But I don't think she's going to let that go.
No,
and
she's
in a position where she doesn't have to let it go now because now they're married. I don't think there was a prenup, which was ridiculous. I think that was all for a storyline anyway, that whole prenup thing. Because she really, even though he had Loverboy before she got on board, she really helped with the marketing to get it where it is now. 100%.
100%. And they've been working on it together this whole time.
Right.
I just think it was an awkward place to sit and have this conversation. I mean, I bet you Carl and Lindsey were happy because then there was not as much discussion about the whole flower boy thing, because that would have been the entire conversation had they not been in this other awkward conversation.
I mean, the whole flower boy thing is ridiculous when it comes to Kyle. You were his best man and efficient, but we all know it was Lindsey. We all know it was Lindsey.
I mean, he even admitted it. Even before he admitted it, I mean, we all knew, but after he admitted it, we really all knew.
Right.
Then Paige, Amanda, and Ciara are all in the bed again because that's what they do. And they're talking about, you know, how Kyle's not really ready. And listen, that's her tribe, Paige and Ciara. That's her tribe. So, of course, they're going to have her side. But they are Team Kyle, too. It's not like they don't like Kyle. Like, they're, you know.
No, I love Paige and Kyle's dynamic and friendship.
No, I do,
even
too.
Ciara, too. But I think Paige is maybe a little bit, maybe because of Craig, maybe they're just a little bit closer and comfortable talking to each other like that. But Ciara gets in there, too. She says what she's got to say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then Jesse comes upstairs, and I don't know if you caught this, but he's singing "When You're Taking Off Your Underwear and You Don't Even Know What's Under There." I was like, where did that come from?
I never heard it before, but I like it, Jesse. I like it.
He sounded pretty good too. Like he may have a career in that.
It almost sounds like something maybe his mom like sang to him as a little boy. You know what I mean?
Could be.
Like something silly like that.
Okay, so then the next morning, Andrea brings up coffee for Ciara and Paige. He's
and what
always
does Paige
done
say?
that.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little obsessed with you right now.
Yeah.
I love Paige.
I
Her
do
responses to things are like nobody can match it.
No, I do too. And then the boys had made breakfast, so they all go downstairs to have breakfast because they're getting ready to go to the beach. They're going to go to the beach and they're going to do volleyball. There's going to be 2 teams. There's going to be the surfers and the lifeguards. Jesse is going to be the team captain of the lifeguards, and Carl's going to be the team captain of the surfers.
Because they both played volleyball in high school and college.
Yeah, I did not. I mean, that explains them being so damn tall.
Yeah, I don't remember that. And you know what's interesting? I was thinking like, oh, wow, the high school that our kids went to, they didn't even have a boys volleyball team. Only girls.
That's weird.
Yeah. Even in the middle school, no boys volleyball. Only girls.
Very weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was hysterical when Kyle's like, oh, so our outfits are depending on what team we're on. And then he didn't really have the lifeguard outfit. So Ciara shows up with her bathing suit and he's wearing it. I mean, only Kyle. Only Kyle.
And it's pretty amazing he fit into it because Ciara is a little girl. She is tiny.
Yeah. She is
Kyle
tiny.
Is too.
But they stretch. It's a bathing suit.
Yeah. Yeah. But...
I mean, and then he takes off his pants and he's getting his sunscreen on his butt. I mean, listen, he leans into everything, and I love that about him.
Yeah,
I love that about him.
Yeah.
So then they're playing, they're playing their game. After the volleyball game, Kyle pulls Amanda aside to go talk to her, on the beach. It doesn't go so good. That conversation just doesn't go well.
No, not at all. Not at all.
He says to her, she's upset that he goes out all the time and he doesn't come home until 4:00 in the morning. And then he says, oh, I'm a social person and I feel like I'm alone. I feel lonely because she's not as social. But I'll be honest with you,
before they got married.
I guess, and I think she's even said this, like, how long can you go out until 4:00 in the morning? I mean, he's in his 40s now, right?
That's the thing. Like, being social is one thing. Staying out until 4:00 in the morning, getting banged up with your boys, that's a completely different story, especially at 40 years old.
Right. Exactly. And I think that's where she's at. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like then West FaceTimes from Montana to Ciara, and she admits that she misses him, which I thought that was sweet.
Yeah. So what was he at a wedding?
I don't know where he was, but he was somewhere. It was in Montana for some reason. I mean, I think maybe that's where he went to college. So maybe it was a wedding from I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Then
played. I didn't know he played college football.
I know. I didn't know that either. I didn't know that either.
Because there yet, right?
That's fine. The amp, but no, because he doesn't look to me to be that big. He's not that.
No,
I mean, maybe
that's
because
what
the
I
other
was
ones
thinking.
The other ones are so massive. He had to be like a running back or a quarterback. Like, there's no way he was anything else because he's not that big.
Yeah, but it's still impressive that he played college football I mean, listen, Carl's what? Is he 6'5"? Or is he 6'7"?
6'5".
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
6'5".
no, he's not 6'7". It's 6'4" or 6'5".
So he's 6'5". So, I mean, West could possibly be like 5'11".
Right.
I don't know, though. He still seems smaller.
Well, you know why? I think because Ciara's so tall, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's tall. So even when they're together, it's not like she's Paige.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they decide that they're gonna go out, but they're gonna split up. So Paige, Danielle, Jesse, Carl, and Kyle go out. Amanda, Andrea, Ciara, and Lindsey stay home. I was very surprised that Lindsey stayed home and Carl went out.
Me too.
And I don't know what that was about because that's kind of the opposite of what normally happens, right?
Yes. So 2 things, maybe. Maybe Carl and Lindsey decided, to avoid any conflict this weekend, this is what we'll do. Or 2, because I listened to what you told me to listen to, Siggy on All About
All About the Truth, yeah, TRH.
I can't listen to those girls.
I know.
We'll talk about that later. But what Siggy was saying about how production sets everything up, maybe production was like, you 4 go out. You 4 stay home.
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you listened to that. I got a lot of insight from her. And I don't know where part 1 is. I kept trying to find it. It's got to be out there. But she has no reason to lie.
No.
She's got no, pony in this race at this point. She
highly dislikes Margaret, though. And she has herself said, I brought her on the show. And she wasn't admitting to that on this podcast. She was saying that the show made it like she brought her on the show. She has said it herself, and I've heard her say it herself. So
but maybe because the show made her say it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But she's the one saying, I don't know. I got a lot of opinions. I very much so thought that they were baiting her hard to talk trash about Melissa. Hard. Like, they were trying to get her to say that Melissa and Joe called the feds on Teresa. Like, come on.
I know. It's so funny because everything I read online, I know we're going off subject here, but that's okay. Everything I read online, it is so funny. And by the way, I was reading your comments today from We Wine Whenever about the whole Teresa thing, and you were going back and forth with a couple of people.
Did I do that on We Wine Whenever?
Yes, you did.
I thought that's I did that on my own. After a couple of drinks, I forget which Facebook account.
It's all right. It's all right.
Sorry.
But it's okay. Listen, I you know me. I do this for the entertainment of it. I'm not that passionate about either one, either way. I see the pros and cons of both of them, and I like to root for the underdog. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not rooting for either of them at this point. I am so sick of this whole situation and fed up with it that I don't really want to see or hear either of them. I mean, I am looking forward to New Jersey coming back, but I don't know. I don't know. I just think the dynamics are going to be weird and horrible. The fact that, Andy said this is not going to happen again. And so that means he saw it and the dynamic is not good and it doesn't work.
I agree with you. And I stand by what I said, that they should not have started filming as soon as they had. And if Bravo
and that is what you said in the comment.
This family, if Bravo cared anything about this family, Bravo would have stepped in and been like, listen, we're not going to film right now, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to get you guys some help. It's only Teresa and Joe left in this family. For crying out loud, you only have each other.
Right.
Your kids only have each other. Let's see what we could do. Honestly, I honestly think, and listen, I don't like Teresa. I loathe Louis. I think he's the slimiest person I've ever come across in my life. But I think that Teresa can blame Bravo for really the demise of her family, because they pushed her. They pushed her. She knew what she was doing, and she knew what she had to do because of the way they pushed her. I'm not saying they pushed her to set Melissa up or anything like that. I'm saying they pushed her to do these outlandish things, and they made her believe that she is the show. Andy single-handedly made Teresa believe she is the show. I think she can blame Bravo for the demise of her family.
Well, I mean, whether or not she can blame them is one thing, but what I was saying is that the people out there on social media, they are either strongly team Teresa or strongly team Melissa, and
there's no in between.
Every single time it comes back to, anytime you say something about Teresa, everyone that comes back, because I was reading the comments, they always come back to, well, she went on behind her brother and sister-in-law's back. Like, that is still 10 years, 13 years later. How many years later is this? That's still
13.
13 years later. That's still where we're at. Like,
yep.
Can we ever move forward from that?
No.
Can we ever move forward?
I mean, it doesn't seem like Teresa can, at least. But
her fans can't either.
No, because she can't. Like, I think that they're like Taylor Swift fans. Like, they're so diehard. Like, I think if Teresa was at some point like, all right, truce. Like, I think that they would be. But you got to watch season 10 reunion. They are all good. They're good.
Okay.
And
I believe you, because I vaguely remember it. Yep, I
And
vaguely
I think
remember
Louis
that.
was like, I can make you a star. You are the star of this show. You don't need them. Look at what they've done to you. They made you look bad. I think he filled her head. And I don't normally make excuses for her and I don't think she's the damsel in distress that she tries to play off.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's a bad, bad man. And
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. I don't think he has her best intentions
right.
in his
I
heart.
think he sees dollar signs.
I also think that you're not going to be happy because everything that I've heard and that Andy said is that Gia is going to have a big role. And I know as you roll your eyes, that
I cannot
is
stand
not,
that girl.
I know, but listen, think about it this way. This is how I look at it. It's her mother. Of course she's going to have her mother's back. That's what she knows. This is what she grew up with. Her mother went to jail. She was there by herself with her younger sisters and her father. Family to her is everything. And that in her mind is her mother. So I don't think that, again, and she's not a child anymore, but she still has her mother's back. So you would be the same way. You would be the same way.
Hell yeah.
Right.
But here's what I think is happening. I think they're trying to position Gia to take Teresa's spot on the show because I think that they think that Teresa's going on to bigger and better things. I think that Louis thinks that he's going to, they're out in LA. She did House of Villains. Like, they think Teresa's on to bigger and better things, and they're positioning Gia to take her spot. I am out if that happens. I can't watch it.
Now, I mean, I don't think that's the case. I don't think, I mean, it wouldn't even make sense. Like, listen, if you're going to bring in,
sense.
If you're going to bring in, if you're going to do something like that, then you do a different show and you bring in all the kids. You do that show. You do a show with the kids.
I wish that they would just give Teresa her own show because then I just wouldn't have to watch it.
Right. And
they should just give her her own show.
Maybe that will happen.
I don't know. I think it would have happened by now because I think I'm sure they asked for a special for the wedding and got shot down too. They had an episode. You had an episode for your wedding, and I'm sure. Remember they kept saying, her and Louis kept saying, no, we're not filming the wedding on Real Housewives. No, we're not doing it for Real Housewives. Yes, you did because you were trying to pitch it to other people for a special, and you got shot down.
Right.
So I think if they were going to get their own show, they would have by now. But damn it, I wish they would because I could just now watch it.
All right, we'll have to wait and see what happens. We better get back to Summer House. I don't know how we went off on this tangent. I mean, I think
me
it was
neither.
me
But
that...
I could talk about Jersey all
I know
day
you
long.
can. I know you can. So let's see. Okay, so then they split up, right? And Lindsey is back at the house, and I think it was Andrea that says, "Why don't we play a game?" And I don't know how the question came up, but she rates her sex life at a 2.5. And she said, well, we had sex today and neither one of us came. What?
How does that happen? Like, what is wrong with him?
I mean, you're getting married in 3 months at this point, and this is where you're at?
Right.
I mean, that's a problem. I mean, the more we watch the season, the more red flags I see.
Of course.
The fact that she says she was blindsided, it's just because she is blind and doesn't see what's right in front of her.
And I don't think she ever, I think in her eyes, it's like a Luann thing with Tom. Like she knew it wasn't going to, she knew it wasn't good. She knew it wasn't good. But she was going to go through with it. Like her one friend said, she'd rather go through with it and get divorced than not go through with it at all. And I think that's where Lindsey is.
Yep. But you know what? I give Carl a lot of credit for him pulling the plug and stopping it now.
Me too. I don't think he should have taken the ring back. I think that is tacky
absolutely.
as hell.
No. You definitely take the ring back.
Don't you tell me it's a New York State law. That is a law that if you want to pursue it, you can, but you do not have to. That was tacky as hell. But I don't blame him for calling the wedding off.
Not tacky as hell. He's still paying her rent, and he's not living there. He's still paying half the rent. He said, yeah, because they had just signed a new lease. He's still paying half the rent, and he's not living there. Ooh. Take the ring back.
Okay.
Take the ring back.
Okay. Well, maybe that was the stipulation. Like, okay, I'll continue, but now I got to go pay rent somewhere else. So
his
give me the
name
ring
is
back.
on the lease. His name is on the lease, so he's financially obligated to pay half the rent.
That's a big nut to crack every month.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. I don't think he was wrong. I think that if the engagement's off, the ring was a part of that, then the marriage is not happening. The ring goes back. That's how I think. The interesting thing is, remember Bethany was not doing rewives anymore, but she said she had other things that she was going to be exploring.
Yeah.
She announced it this week. One of the things that she's exploring is her new housewife is, I think it's divorced. Bethany just be divorced or whatever she's calling it, but it has to do with getting a divorce. So she is talking about what went on in her marriage and her relationship and the divorce, because her
Jason
divorce
Hoppy?
her divorce took 10 years. And I was just listening. I didn't even finish this one episode, but one of the things that she says, she names her lawyers, she names what went on, she names some of the red flags. And what she says is, if you have these red flags, you need to call it off. Exactly what Carl did is what you need to do.
Yeah, for sure.
She was not in love with him. She was not feeling it. She was pregnant. There was all these, bells going off in her head. Don't marry him. Don't marry him. But she already had the special, the TV show.
Yeah.
She had a prenup. It wasn't a good prenup. Her lawyer tried to talk her out of signing it. Like, she shouldn't have signed it. He made all these statements to her that just were red flags, and she saw them and she ignored them because she was caught up in the whole thing, the whole machine.
Again, Bravo forcing themselves on these people.
No. She doesn't blame Bravo for that either. It was her. These were her decisions. These were her decisions that she made. For example, when she met him, I was so surprised to hear this. I don't even know why. This is not what we're supposed to be talking about, but I'm going to give it to you anyway.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't watch Jersey Shore, so...
All right, we'll skip Jersey Shore.
If we could wait to talk about that.
Absolutely.
But we are going to see Mike the Situation at Barnes & Noble on Sunday. And
maybe we'll talk about it on Sunday. Maybe we'll talk about it on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. So she said the way she met him, I was totally surprised. So she was out at this place in New York City, and Nene was there, and Nene had to go someplace, and Nene was there with a bunch of her friends. Nene had to go someplace that she was meeting somebody from Bravo. So Nene leaves and says to Bethany, can you take care of my friends? And Bethany's like, yeah, sure. So they're out at this place and her friends are there. And all of a sudden she's at this small venue. There's 250 people there, Bethany and Nene's friends, because Nene left. And Beyonce is doing a concert there for 250 people. Nene's friends were like, oh my God, this is great. What have you done for us? And meanwhile, Bethany's like, I didn't even know this was happening. So then they leave and they try and go to this after party, this after club, and they get there and they're not letting Bethany in with her friends. So Bethany knows a couple people and she makes a couple phone calls and she gets in, she gets in, and that's where she met him, Jason. He was there. And she says that he had dated Russell Simmons' daughter prior to dating Bethany.
I wonder if it's the one who's dating the older restaurateur.
No,
it can't be, right?
It's not. No, because she's only 21.
So it's not Kimora Lee Simmons' daughters, but Russell Simmons. It must be an older daughter from a prior relationship.
It must be. Okay. So he had dated this other Russell Simmons' daughter.
Okay.
And this may be who it was, because then she goes on to say, they were leaving the place, right? And he said to her, Bethany was leaving and she had a car. And he said, well, I don't have a car. Can your driver, take me uptown? Because she was going uptown. So she's like, yeah, okay. So come to find out, he actually did have a car and it was downtown where the party was. But he wanted to spend time with her and get to know her.
Meanwhile, he had a girlfriend.
I don't think he had a girlfriend at that time. They had broken up recently. He didn't have a girlfriend at that time.
Okay.
He did not have a girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
But he had connections, obviously. That's probably how he was at that party.
Exactly.
Because of who he had dated at one time, right?
Right.
So he gets in the car with her and goes uptown to where she's living. The driver drops Bethany off. Then he asks the driver to take him back downtown to get his car, because his car was actually back downtown, right? That's one red flag. She goes, you can look at that either way. Then
that's a good point. You could
Right?
look at it either way. Yes. Because I was like, oh, that's kind of cute, but no.
No.
Yeah.
Then they're talking one day, and for some reason, they're talking about Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson. And he makes this comment like, Nick Lachey should have taken Jessica Simpson for everything he could get. Because remember, they had their own reality show?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she just kind of like put that in the back of her head, but didn't really put everything together until a little bit later.
And quite honestly, at the time, I mean, they were probably worth about the same, Jessica and Nick. Because
Jessica was probably worth more because, well,
not much though at that point. Now, for sure. But at that point, she hadn't started making movies yet. Right.
But Nick Lachey isn't that kind of guy. Who's,
no, he's
you
not.
know what I'm saying? Nick Lachey isn't that kind of guy.
Mm-mm.
So at the time, Bethany was 36 when she met him, and they were dating, they were dating for a short amount of time. And he said to her, I really want to have children. And if you want to do this is something that needs to happen sooner than later because you are 36. And in her mind, she was like, okay. And shortly after they started dating, she did get pregnant. And she wanted a child, but not necessarily with this person. And then she got, swept up in the whole thing.
Right.
And she goes on to say, but she wouldn't say what the show was. He was dating somebody else who was on a reality show back before she met him. And his parents didn't like that person. So the only thing I can think of is that Russell Simmons did have a reality show. So maybe it was his daughter. So I don't know what her name is. She's like, I'm not going to name any names, but the family already had a bad relationship because she also, once we're in the process of the 10-year divorce, she did not have a good relationship with his parents either.
I wonder why.
Well, because he had sights on her. I mean, the whole big thing was, she was also saying, they moved in together and, she made more money than him. She was just on the verge of starting the Skinny Girl brand. It wasn't complete yet. The deal wasn't complete, but she had it and everything was in the works. And she was on her way. Right. And then he wants her to get pregnant and she does wind up getting pregnant. And then the money came in big time. I mean, she was paying 70% of the rent. She was paying his bills. Like she was paying everything.
And he had a good job, right? Wasn't he like a hedge fund guy or something?
No, I don't think so. I think he was a salesman. Okay.
I thought he was in finance for some reason.
I think he was a salesman. It maybe even advertising. I don't know exactly, but even she said he was charming. She's like, that's another red flag. She goes, again, it could be.
You know what's funny, though? I watched that show. I did not find him charming at all. I did not think he was good looking. I didn't find him charming at all. I always used to think to myself, like, what is the draw here? I don't know.
I don't know either. But now she's talking about it.
I have to listen to that. That's very interesting. And quite honestly, I'm so surprised that she can, because I thought with that 10-year divorce, she wouldn't even be allowed to talk about it. Like I would have assumed that there would be like an NDA or something. Or what do they call it?
An NDA. Yeah.
But a gag order.
Yeah. I mean, he did a lot of things messed up. I have, like I said, I haven't even finished it, but I've learned so much from her already, and so much of what to do. I mean, I'm married almost 26 years now, so I think the ship has sailed for me. But if anyone is not married yet, I suggest you listen to her podcast.
Yeah,
because she tells you she did. I remember this. She wrote a book about all the mistakes I made in dating, so you don't have to, or something like. I don't remember what it was called, but something about that. And she did. She's like, she goes, I can tell you everything that there is to know about divorce. I can tell you every angle to do. She goes, I can't put on my own eyelashes. I can't, all the things that she can't do. She goes, but this one thing, I was very organized. I knew exactly what I needed to do. And it took her 10 years to get what she wanted. And she got what she wanted.
I have to tell my friend, the one who's going through the divorce, I have to tell her to listen to it.
Yes, you do. Yes. Okay. So I thought that was interesting. So let's go back to this. I don't know how, again, I don't know how I go off on these tangents.
But I'm glad you did, because I had no idea she was talking about it. And I'm glad to hear that, because I want to listen to it. And now I want to tell my friend.
Okay, good. Okay, so then the next morning after Kyle goes out and he comes home, half the group
Again
comes
at
back
4 in the morning.
3:55 to be exact. 3:55 because him and Jesse come back super late. Jesse brings back the girl.
Oh my God.
And he walks into Amanda's room. He's like, Amanda. And he's like, I'm sorry. She's like, what time is it, Kyle? Kyle, what time is it? He's like, 3:55. She's like, fuck off. Like, do you not get it? He just doesn't get it. He's
you're
such
40.
a kid.
You're 40
Yeah.
and you're accusing her of not being ready for kids.
Right.
So that's
just grow up.
Bullshit. That's like,
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I agree.
But,
I agree.
it's funny. I'm watching this girl with Jesse and I'm like, it's been a very long time, so I forget. But so they go in the hot tub and then they go in his room. He puts a cover over the camera, obviously. And then she leaves.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, you can't even let her stay until the morning. But I guess I forget, you don't stay until the morning.
No, you don't. Did he call her an Uber, I hope?
I hope
he
so,
called her
for
an
crying
Uber.
out loud. Yeah.
I hope he called her an Uber. Maybe production took her home. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. They're like this. Listen, you go through with this. We got you. We'll give you a ride home.
Let's see what else. So then the next morning, Andrea brings Paige and Ciara coffee again in bed, but he did some kind of special oat milk latte or whatever. He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Again,
don't ask
I
the
love
chef
him.
his secrets.
Yes, exactly. I love him.
Yeah.
And then Kyle and Amanda are not talking. They're sitting there. She's on her phone. He's trying to talk to her. She's ignoring him. Are you driving? No. Okay. Awkward. Then we cut to Tuesday and we're back in New York City and West is in the park with his aunt, who seems like a very lovely woman.
Very lovely and very cool, down to earth, like the aunt you'd go to talk to.
Yes. Yeah. And she is, kind of giving him a little bit of life advice, kind of motherly advice that, look where you're at now. When you first came into New York, all you had done is the football. And now look at your resume, because he's talking about a job and something that he's looking for. And then he starts talking to her about Ciara. And, he talks to her all the time. And, he's trying to kind of be vulnerable, but you can see he's a little afraid.
Yeah.
And I guess it's because, listen, Ciara is gorgeous. I mean, he's a nice guy, but I feel like she is so out of his league.
Agreed.
And I think that he kind of feels that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a good guy. I really do like them together.
And I think that, obviously Austin, tall, handsome, blah, blah, blah.
I hated Austin. I never liked Austin.
Total douchebag. So I think after that experience itself, she's probably so open to somebody like West who makes her laugh. That's so important. Makes her laugh and genuinely cares about her and is respectful to her.
Yes.
That's really what it comes down to, is being respectful to your partner.
Yes, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
So then Ciara's there. I don't know who that guy she was talking to was. Was that her manager, where she was talking about signing the contract?
Yes, because when they opened...
Or was he from the agency?
He was her manager, because it said Ciara's manager when he opened the door and she was on his TV screen.
Did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm so happy.
Oh, me too. When he said, you're going to be traveling, your lifestyle is going to change, I thought, I wonder if she's going to be on the show again.
Yeah.
She could be traveling.
I think she probably will.
I hope so.
It's just the summer. It's just the summer. What goes on in the summer? I guess some, Fashion Week doesn't go on. Maybe.
No, because
no,
it's the spring and the fall.
But you know what? She said she's not tall enough to be a runway model.
Which is unbelievable, because she looks it, but.
And I would see her on the runway. For sure.
Yeah,
but
she's got legs for days. I think did she do the Victoria's Secret runway show?
I'm sure she's done something.
I have to ask Tess.
I can't imagine
she might have
she
done
hasn't. I hope
maybe
she
after
did.
this filmed. I got to look into it.
Maybe. Yeah, because that would have been in September. So New York Fashion Week is always in September. So that would have been in September when they were done with summer.
Yeah.
And then we just had another Fashion Week that was for next
fall. We had
Fall.
it in the spring, but it's for the
Right.
upcoming fall.
Fall. Right. And then the one that's in the fall is for the following spring.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, she could work that around, but who knows? I mean, I would like for her to get like a really good ad campaign. I would
Me
like
too.
for her to get like a Lancome or
Burberry,
yeah, but I
Chanel.
would see, yeah, definitely any of those. But I could see her with any kind of beauty, skincare. I mean, her
Yeah.
skin, she's beautiful. Her face is just so beautiful.
Yep.
Like, you know, I don't know.
Every time it's on, and
She's-
Eric walks in the kitchen and I'm watching it, he was like, "God, she's fucking hot." I'm like, "I know, I know."
She really is. She's
She
a
is.
beautiful girl.
Yeah.
She really is. What happens next? So Kyle feels, we didn't talk about this. When they were out together, him and Paige were talking when they were at the club.
Yeah.
And he said how he looked at her phone and there was no pictures of him in her camera roll. I mean, he literally had tears in his eyes.
That was sad.
It was very sad. It was very sad. Like, what is in her camera roll?
I'm sure.
I mean, not that I have a
I'm sure 400,000 selfies.
You think so?
Yeah. She's she's trying to do what Paige is doing now. She's not doing PR work anymore. Now she's trying to do what Paige does.
Which
She's
is what
trying
Lindsey's
to be
doing
a brand
too.
ambassador.
That's what Lindsey's doing too.
That's what I'm saying. That's what she's doing now, Lindsey. She wasn't
No,
always doing that.
I'm talking about Amanda.
Oh, Amanda said it? Wait, I thought that was Carl.
Kyle.
Oh, I'm confused.
No, Kyle. No. So Paige was talking to Kyle, and Kyle was saying that he went back and it was Amanda's phone.
Okay, I'm
and
sorry.
There was no pictures of him.
Then I'd take away the selfie comment. I thought we were talking about Lindsey.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I know. Definitely,
I Kyle
would see
talking
Lindsey
about Amanda? What am I thinking?
It was Kyle talking about Amanda, and he had like tears in his eyes. Like he was really sad. And I was sad for him. And I'm still wondering what the hell are the pictures that are in her phone? Maybe
her
Amanda.
Dogs.
I mean, how many dog pictures can you have?
I mean, I think people have a lot of dog pictures, but I think that you should have equal amounts of pictures of your husband and your dogs. Although I don't have equal amounts of pictures of Eric with my kids.
I don't
what my camera roll is? Shit that I don't want to forget about. Like I have to, I'll have to screenshot something. Oh yeah, I'm like, oh shit, I can't forget about that. I got to screenshot that. So it's not even pictures of my family, really. Maybe from back in the day, but not recently.
Yeah, I actually we should look at that next time and see what's really in our camera rolls.
Yeah,
because we did look at our selfie number last time, but next time we'll look and see what's actually in our camera rolls.
Yeah,
I know for sure I have a lot of beach pictures. I probably have 1,000 pictures of Barnegat Lighthouse.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure.
And one is not different than the next, but I can't get rid of any of them. For whatever
You don't
reason.
ever delete them? You don't ever delete them?
No, and I have so much cloud storage. It's freaking ridiculous. Between my iCloud and my Google Cloud, it's just ridiculous.
I go through my phone and delete pictures all the time. I'm like, yeah, I've had that long enough.
No.
I do not like clutter.
Them.
Clutter bothers me.
No.
Even in my phone.
I buy storage. I just buy storage.
You're the person who just goes and buys a storage unit just to put stuff in and not ever look at it again.
Well, it's funny because physical stuff I don't want. I do not want physical stuff. I'm all for clearing out the physical, but my digital stuff, oh no. I'll just put that in a cloud someplace. And then what's going to happen with it at some point? I mean, what happens with that? What happens with your cloud?
When you die, seriously, what happens to it?
I don't know. I got to will the cloud to somebody. I got to pay for it for after I'm dead.
You better change your will and figure out who's getting your iCloud.
I got to figure that shit out. There's only one person who would want it. You know that.
Yes.
The other ones would be like, no, thank you.
I'm good. I'm all set.
Exactly. I don't think they take any pictures of anything.
No.
I mean, every time I watch them and they're on their phone and they're doing, their social media, it's always like a picture of their nose or the ceiling or something
Yeah.
doesn't ever stay in the phone. It just goes out there.
Right.
So funny. All right. So then I don't know. I went backwards.
That was sad.
It was sad. It was sad. So then they bring in a therapist. The therapist comes to their house. That's why I wanted to bring that up. So then a therapist comes to Amanda and Kyle's house. And, I'm glad that they're working with a therapist because I think that, Amanda admitted their biggest problem is communication. Right. And Kyle feels like Amanda's short with him and that she doesn't even like him. And because she gets mad with him and she acts like she doesn't like him. And because he's oblivious because he stays out till 4 a.m. all the time.
Right. I'm listening.
And then is someone texting you?
No, somebody's trying to talk to me through my door, though. So I'm texting him.
Oh.
Joe's trying to tell me where he's going.
Oh, gotcha.
So to shut him up, I'm going to text him. Heard you.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And then Lindsey and Gabby and Danielle, they meet up at the bridal store and some of Lindsey's bridesmaids so she can try on her dress.
That was a nice dress.
I thought it was all right.
You weren't a big fan?
Wasn't a big fan.
Oh, wait. If we could just go back to the counseling, to the therapist thing real quick.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Amanda was saying that basically what it comes down to is she feels insecure when Kyle basically makes her feel like she's not enough. And I'm sure that's because he cheated on her, right?
Well, I think it's a combination because, she had her own job because they work together. They live together. They're married.
Right.
Like they can't get away from each other.
Yeah, which is not good.
It's not good. It is not good. So she quit her job because he begged her to so that she could help him with his PR. And she did. And then while they're working, she does all this stuff, but he'll say, well, why didn't you do this or you didn't do that? Instead of building her up and giving her praise for all the stuff that she did do for Loverboy.
Right.
She doesn't feel, appreciated and loved. And in the back of her mind, I'm sure she has the cheating. And he brings that up too. He's like, well, I did, and now I am still going out. And she's like, why do you have to go out with people that you just met till 4 a.m.?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
You know what it is, though? I think certain people, and Kyle is one of those people, like once they start, they don't know how to stop. They don't know how to end the party. There's certain people.
I'm very guilty of that. I really am guilty of that.
That don't know how to end the party.
Yeah.
So once they get to a certain point, that party's going to just keep on going.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I would think for him it would take a lot at this point, but who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
I think I was like that in my younger years. I would say probably in my 20s, my early 20s. There was a time. That's how it was when I met Bill. Like I was out partying and I didn't want the party to stop.
Yeah.
But at some point, like I'm just tired. And I think that's where
I still
Amanda's
don't like
at.
the party to stop. I really don't. Even when we're at your house doing the pod on Saturday nights, I don't like it to stop.
I know. But that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're not going to talk about Jersey Shore. We'll wait on that one. I did take the notes. We can talk about that because we are going to go see Mike the Situation at Barnes & Noble, his book signing.
Yep.
In Bricktown.
In Brick on Sunday at 4.
Sunday at 4 o'clock. So that should be fun.
Let me tell you something real. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Tell me because I do have a quote. And that's supposed to be our last thing.
Okay. So I'm just going to tell you something real quick, and I'm not going to use names, but I have a good friend who's in recovery.
Okay.
She knows other people in recovery, obviously. And someone she knows from when we were younger is very vocal on Facebook and social media about how, I guess, treatment centers, because they're run by insurance companies, can be accused of scamming, keeping people in to bill the insurance, kicking people out. Listen, insurance companies are ruling this country. Let's face it. We all know that. So she was telling me today about somebody that she knows. I don't know her, but she knows from the past. Was very vocal on Facebook against Mike Sorrentino, saying that she's going to go to Barnes & Noble and expose him. She even goes as far as calls him like a human trafficker because of his works with the rehabs. I'm not going to quote it because I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But I was texting with my friend. So she had come here this morning to pick something up, and then we were texting about it later. And she sent me a screenshot of what this woman wrote. And I said, let me ask you a question. Is she in recovery, or has she lost someone in her life? to addiction. So I will read you what I wrote to her. Because I stand by this. She is in recovery. She's worked in the treatment industry for years. And you know, the treatment industry is more of a business and blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, it's good to know she's in recovery. And we all know insurance companies are the devil. But it's odd to me that someone in recovery would try to tarnish the reputation of someone who is promoting recovery. Because I would give anything to have my nephew Alex, my nephew Kyle, or my brother Andy here doing the very same thing. So for somebody in recovery to come out and speak against him for what he's doing for that community, to me, is a tragedy. Because whether you believe that about the rehabs and the insurance companies, you have someone who has been sober clean for 8 years. And their family probably thanks God every day that he's here doing that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I was so...
Absolutely.
You know me, I can get triggered. I was so fucking triggered. Like, we've lost so many people in my family to addiction. I would give anything to have them here doing the very same thing that Mike Sorrentino's doing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right?
That's crazy. And I mean, I
know
know
not show up there when we're there.
Ooh, she better not.
Yeah.
I'll wear my sneakers just in case you need backup.
Thank you. Do we need to call Geraldine? We might need to call Geraldine.
We might need to call Geraldine. I don't know that I'm the muscle that you know who we need. We need Lori. I mean, Lori's got the mouth, though. I don't know that she's got the muscle.
I know. The jury's still out on that one.
Well, who do we got? Do we have anybody? Do we have any muscle? Debbie Heitner?
We could bring Debbie.
Can we bring Debbie?
Or Tess.
Debbie? Oh, okay.
She might
Tess.
not look it, but she's pretty mighty.
Oh, no. I'd put my money on Tess.
Yeah.
I put my money on Tess. All right. Yeah. Is she free? Is she working?
I'll see. I don't think she's working.
All right. So until now. Oh, wait. No, I got our quote. You ready?
Our quote, yeah.
I am no longer accepting the things. This is ironic, as since we were talking about recovery. I was in court all day today. By the way, I was in court all day today talking about discovery. But no, since we were talking about recovery, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept.
I love that.
I do too. I
love that.
So I think that we need to live by that. Like,
yes.
Like, change it. You be the change. You be the change.
And don't accept,
Don't accept it.
Yep.
Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly. Bye.
Bye.